Looks like we are live, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been working on my princess way.
The royal way.
Nice. It's because you're wearing the camel crown, isn't it? You're getting that taste of royalty thing going.
Hey, it ain't the hounds of business. It really is redneck Camelot. You know, it really is. It's corny, but it works. But hey, I appreciate you all letting me come up here and just nobody watches the first 2 minutes, so you're safe.
Right.
But hey, I think it's a brilliant, you know, again, testament to the hounds. You guys make this special. I'm just the guy who pulls people together and can recognize greatness. So birds of a feather flock together, guys. I sincerely appreciate all of you being who you are. You know, high level, heart-centered professionals coming together to do more things, dropping the hunting mentality, dropping the pitch slap stuff, and really seeking to build, you know, win-win relationships in this community. It's been phenomenal. So this is a testament. I just threw you three into a chat, and after 400 messages, this happened. Right? I had no idea, I had no involvement, but I know greatness. I know good hearts. I know people with resources and different skill sets, and they bring something to the table. And so you three, again, I've been saying it like clockwork. It's like when they put the peanut butter and jelly in the same jar at the same time, man. Boom, it just blew my country mind. And so I have no doubt this is going to be great. You guys pulling together, you know, sharing tools, resources, you know, just little nuggets to help people level up their business and their life. You know, this is a fantastic thing. So love you guys in the pack. Love you guys being in this community. And I'm honored every single day, y'all. That's it. That's all I got to say. Shortest thing I'll ever say. There you go.
Absolutely.
Thank
So it
you.
looks like we have about 6 people on so far. Looks like,
Yay.
yeah. So ladies, who wants to go first in introducing themselves?
Sure, I will.
Okay.
Let's go alphabetical order. So Lisa, you go first.
Fantastic. And Mike, we know you have 10 million things to do, so you are more than welcome to exit at any time, and we certainly won't be offended. And we love you, and thank you so much for throwing us in a pot together and seeing what we can cook up.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be watching, so I'll be commenting and watching. And yeah, wishing you all the best. Good things happen when you got the right people together. You can't go wrong. So I can't wait to learn from you all. Love you all. We'll see you around. Bye,
Appreciate
everybody.
you, Mike. Appreciate you so much.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Well, good morning from Australia. It is Tuesday morning here. So I live in Tomorrowland. Look, I'm really excited that we've sort of masterminded about 6 weeks of goodness for everybody to tune into. But a quick introduction from me is, obviously, my name is Lisa Marie, and little side note, Marie is my surname. It's not a hyphenated first name. So I just thought I'd get that out of the gate right now. And I'm really here to help heart-centered. Who's tapping?
Sorry, that's me.
I wish my fingers could move that fast on the keyboard.
I'm sorry. I thought I had a quiet keyboard here. I thought I was being like all sneaky about it and throwing something in the chat, and I was totally not sneaky at all. Sorry about that.
No. So, gosh, I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. Prior to that, I was military and medical science, and I've really just kept following my inner voice, and it's led me into an incredible space where I am, well, we all have a superpower, right? This is the SuperGenius Masterminds, and one of my superpowers is to really tap into people's belief system and help them rewire. So I work with heart-centered entrepreneurs and leaders who are like, they're doing all the things, they're taking all the courses, they're driven, they know their purpose, they know their vision and mission, but they can't quite crack that code. And generally that's underlying hidden beliefs and limitations and self-doubt and all these things that are getting in the way. So I really help people break through all barriers. I work with a powerful fusion of business strategy, neuroscience, energetics, which is that quantum and metaphysics to help people just tap into their unlimited potential. We go beyond ordinary, we become unlimited. And I am in a space right now with two people I absolutely adore and highly respect who live that unlimited belief system as well. So that's enough for me. I'm going to hand it over to the next in line.
Hey, I guess that's me. If we're going,
I don't know if it's on the screen or alphabetical or what. So fire away.
I am just so happy to be here. I am so excited that this worked out because I think we're three people that have really different approaches in one way, but in another way, I mean, we do believe in being able to take people to that next level of being able to take something that maybe isn't physical or touchable and yet creating more than the sum of those parts, which is exactly what we've done, because that's why we're the SuperGenius Masterminds, right? It's a great title anyway. My name is Melissa Robinson Weinmiller. For anybody who doesn't know me, I have like the longest name in the entire world on purpose because nobody else has it. And my thing is empathy. I am the empathy lady. And so the way I come to this is that I see and have seen so much leadership in my life that was just missing that ability to actually connect with their people, with their better self, with an ability to really take that leadership to the next step. And as a result, take the organizations to the next level. And after years of research and a lot of just hard study, I am convinced that empathy is the key to do this. I really believe that's the thing that's going to be able to propel people into something bigger and brighter. It's like I tell people, it's not puppies and rainbows and Care Bears and empathy and soft skills. No, this is a hard, actionable skill that can be used to make everything bigger, make everything brighter, and make everything work better. And that's what I'm here to do, is to teach people how to use that skill. I don't have the superpower. I give the superpower. So that's what I do.
And y'all expect me to follow that? Is that what's going on here?
No puppies, no Care Bears.
All right. So let me just kind of say hi to Isabel. Hi Isabel. Let me deflect for a moment. Hello to Isabel and Mike. Thank you for kind of figuring out the whole link thing. Seems that because again we're working through all of this. As you can see, I'm privileged to be connected to these amazing ladies, Lisa and Melissa. I had so much fun talking to them one-on-one, and it almost made sense, right? Because one of the things I was looking at is something was in Mike's mind to say, hey, let me bring them together. And I think it's safe to say we all trust Mike. And when we got together, we could see the symmetry. We could see how we all three brought something very different to the table, and we just thought it'd be magic to present that to you. You almost, it's like a buffet. You get what works for you, and some of the things we say here from some of us is going to be like, well, what did that mean? Oh, I understand what Lisa said it, or I understand what Melissa said. So you got 3 times the chance of really getting something that's going to resonate with you and really hopefully be a game changer for your business. For me, I just recently rebranded as the Ascension Coach. So a big part of my business model is really shifting into a state of consciousness where you are that successful business owner. My thing can sometimes be described as more woo-woo, but it's really baked, it's really backed by science. But it's not what's going to happen. It's not, this is what I'm trying to get. I operate from the inside out. In my business, consciousness is the only reality. So I go there in consciousness, and that experience gets projected out into what we call the 3D or the world. And so I talk about how all of this that we're experiencing is just a hologram. It's just a projection. And so instead of trying to, and one of my favorite movies is The Matrix. And in that movie, there's the young monk boy. Neo is stopping by to see the Oracle, but he stops at the young monk boy, and he sees him spinning the spoon. And obviously Neo, Keanu Reeves is interested in that, and he's, the young monk boy tells him, "Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. The only thing I'm paraphrasing this part. He says the only thing you need to do is bend your mind." And really, that has been a big part of even my rebrand and my new knowing, is that trying to fix what's out there can at times just cause more frustration, whatever. But if you can kind of go within and shift your business there, shift your level of success there, shift what shift how people are responding to you from a conscious standpoint, that will be projected outward. Now, I got tons of business tips and nuggets and all that good stuff, but the foundation for everything I talk about is consciousness, and being able to, if you experience it within, you're going to experience it without. So we wanted to introduce ourselves, our own unique geniuses, all thrown in the pot together. When I think of Melissa and Lisa, I just think of a good time. I knew at some point, I knew we were going to be laughing. I knew we were going to be smiling. I knew we were going to have fun. There's some technical stuff that has to be worked out, but we want to invite you into our energy, because this gets to be fun. Bumping our head against a wall, trying to figure something out, and all of that. That's gone away of the dinosaur now. You can have fun and be successful and grow your business at the same time. And that's also an aspect. Yeah, that's also an aspect that we are introducing, that this gets to be fun. So I don't know, ladies, where are we going from here? Because I think we had the introduction part, but where are we going after that?
Yes, well, I think, James talking about the consciousness and the matrix, you're getting some supportive comments happening right now through Dee and Mike. And I think, because I believe the Hounds, thank you, Mike, is just this huge network of people who are awake, really in living a higher consciousness, and knowing that you got to fix all the stuff within to make the stuff without work. Right. And the beautiful thing is that we all, I know Melissa's passion with Master Lee, and
yes, indeed.
And I've been exposed to metaphysics and the Eastern way in this lifetime since I was 14, and I'm now in my 50s. So, we're talking 40 plus years. And what James is talking about is also just another dimension of that. So we all have the same alignment and agenda, but we speak a different language to serve our audience, which could be the same audience, but we serve them with, whoa, what just happened there?
Y'all should not have given me control of this. Y'all should not, somebody should have warned you. I'm sorry.
The universe is like, pay right attention now. As I was saying, we have different modalities to teach this stuff, which is not woo. When you think about that, it's a funny thing, because I made in the comments that we're here to demystify woo. Mm-hmm. Now, the ancients, they knew this stuff thousands of years ago. And we, as a human society, which, you know, I'd like to just add in there, we've handed our intelligence over to smartphones. So the smarter our technology gets, the dumber we get. And I'm also, I like to just sort of break the status quo. My dear mentor, Mr. Jim Rohn, said, if the crowd's going that way, turn around and walk that way. And so we're here to give you a really different perspective. What we're teaching is not new. It's actually lost in the busyness of our modern world. So we're just bringing back, oh, I'm getting goosebumps. We're just bringing back what is an innate power all of us have, but it's sleeping. And so we're here to wake the heck up. Anybody who would like to be a little bit shaken, because they know they're playing small. They know they're not living their full potential. They've got a fire in their belly, and they just don't know how to get from A to there, wherever there is for you. And so we're guides. We're here to bring some modern day topics that could be a little bit spicy, and challenging the status quo, and giving you, you know, real raw perspective on if you want things to change, you've got to change. If you want life to get better, you've got to get better. And so we just are going to deliver our wisdom. And we've all, I'm not speaking for my colleagues here, but generally people who are on a mission of serving others, like on a global impact scale to make humanity better, have had their fair dose of suffering. And I have, and I'm sure my colleagues will openly share that with you as well over the next 6 weeks as we talk about some very interesting, juicy topics.
Yes. Well, and I think it's interesting. You mentioned bucking the status quo, which I'm all for. I think a little rebellion now and again is a very healthy thing. But just the fact that we're all here together is kind of bucking the status quo. And I give Mike a lot of props for that, because he's like, okay, I know you guys, what you do on one hand is synergistic, but on the other hand isn't. But I'm going to throw you in this tank together and just see what happens. And I'm all for bucking the status quo.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And you know what? I love Melissa talking about bucking the status quo. I love Lisa talking about challenging, because that brought to my remembrance that I'm often the bad cop in the collaborations that I'm a part of. And what I mean by that is, for all of 2023, I took 2023 off. That was kind of like my healing journey. And I just recently fired everything back up in January. Now, things have taken off since then. And so part of the being the bad cop is going, there are no excuses. Because if I can literally go through a rebrand, go through, like, I got a whole new message and allow for that to take off, then there's no excuse that our businesses should not be up leveling at least to the next level. Right. And so, you know, I'm often the one that's going, okay, that's nice to hear, but what are we going to do about it? So I'm just, Lord, I got a great smile. I know I do, but there are those moments. There are those moments where, and you don't, I think Lisa and Melissa will both say the same thing. You don't get here unless you're challenging yourself, and unless you have a community that's going to challenge you as well. Sometimes we need that. We just need our hand held at times. There's sometimes we need somebody to go, what are we doing? We know we're better than this. Let's get to it. And really, I'm that person. So you, again, as I talked about and the ladies have talked about, everything is in this pot. Like, you're going to find something that's going to resonate. And so now the next step becomes execution. What are we doing to now execute? Because if it's just to gather information, gather data, oh, that sounds good, oh, that was funny, I think for me, I don't need the numbers. You can, you know, find another post or another event, we really want the people, even in our own community, and I love our community. Our community is so amazing. I had a great call with Heidi today. Had a great call with Tanya today. And just side note, every hound I talk to, I talk about how when I met Mike in 2022, there was the Eagle's Nest, and people are like, no, I never heard of that. So when I did come back out of my business, touch base with Mike, and Mike was like, no, we're the hounds now. I just feel like I walked into a whole nother universe. I'm like, what happened to the Eagles? Where'd they go? But yeah, we have an amazing community, and collectively, there's no reason why, whether it's us hopping on, whether you're hopping on this podcast or one of the other podcasts, where you may have a podcast, where we're not up leveling and growing together and really becoming the most powerful, magnetic, and attractive community on LinkedIn.
Yes, I agree. Bravo.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic. So do we want to give them our stories, how we got here?
Yeah, just briefly, because we want to keep for respecting everybody's time. We're going to keep these calls to around 30 to 40 minutes, I think. And I've got some laughs and claps going on there. Yeah, we won't. You won't need a cut lunch to be on our calls. That's an Australian saying. I don't know if that makes sense. It means that you go on a long trip or something. You've got to take a cut lunch with you. Anyways.
You guys have the Outback, right? If you're going to go out in the Outback, you better have a couple of cut lunches.
I understood, Lisa.
With a kangaroo. I don't know. Yeah. So
Mike loves the kangaroos.
I know. So, gosh, I'm going to give you the snapshot version. I lived my entire first 20 years in survival and fear. I had a very violent psychiatric mother, literally in fear of my life every day. I didn't know when the next attack was going to be, and it was psychotic, like nothing normal about my world. That all of that fear internalized led to catastrophic health problems. And I went on to develop systemic disease. I got chopped up by surgery 18 times before the age of 29. I also decided that because I lived in violent psychosis, that I would actually try a couple of marriages of the same kind of people. You know, until you actually heal and solve the same problem, especially in abusive relationships, you basically find the same guy just in a different body until you sort stuff out. During that time, I'd been exposed to metaphysics, Tai Chi, meditation, yin and yang, Bruce Lee when I was 14, and understood that there was energy, there was really another world beyond what the 3D was. And I knew that my life was going to be extraordinary. I just had to find a way out. I joined the army. Well, I ran away to the army, became a medical scientist, wanted to find my own health solutions. And I left Western medicine because it was very political and pharmaceutical driven. And my health wasn't being solved. I was just being fed medication and chopped up. So I became a holistic health practitioner. That was my beginning as an entrepreneur back in 2004. And my second husband, well, I was very naive. I was left facing bankruptcy and homeless by the age of 33. So when you rock bottom, you just sort of say, well, there's only one way to go. And that began my journey of healing and high-level personal development. My mentor was Mr. Jim Rohn. And I went from bankruptcy to building a multi-six-figure holistic health business, where I taught other people to build a health business as well. 2020, we shut that down because the world shut down. Great opportunity, because I wasn't living my full potential, and now I am. I've stepped into the full version of Lisa, out of the quantum box. you get all of me now. And I'm here to help change the world and be a legacy maker with these beautiful people on screen with me. And so you have three very powerful people in front of you who just want to share their gifts and their wisdom with you. So we hope to see you over the next 6 weeks. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. You know, it's funny because I think you said in your introduction how it seems like when people really become catalyzed to do something, that if you look back, that sometimes the pasts are not always very nice. Sometimes they're pretty rough. But, you know, fire tempers steel. And that's what happens. So, because for me, a lot of, and we've kind of talked about this, a lot of my experiences have kind of mirrored yours.
Yeah.
My childhood wasn't much fun either. I grew up military, and we moved every 2 years, which meant that I was very isolated, and that, you know, you're not around family. You never get a chance to make friends. You're stuck in this family unit. And if your family unit is dysfunctional, it does set you up for finding those exact same kind of people later in life, whether they're husbands or employers or whatever. And that's exactly what happened. Is by the end of it all, I ended up with an employer that I ended up assaulted by somebody that I worked with, and my employer didn't care. And the problem is the field that I was in was music. So it was something, as we were moving every 2 years when I was growing up, my music was the only thing I had to hang on to. It was the only good relationship in my life. And it was the only thing that went with me. So when I actually lost this to these people, it wasn't like stepping away from a job, which is hard enough. If you're stepping away from a career, that's hard enough. But it was like I had to bury a friend, because I had always had music as the only stable thing in my life. So unfortunately, what this means is that I spent about the next 7 years spinning out. I mean, by the end of all of this, I also ended up homeless for a short amount of time and broke. And the whole, I can tell you that living in a car with a cat is not as much fun as it sounds. I will tell you that for free. But through all of this, I did manage to recenter on True North and figure out, either I can take this basket of mud that I've been given, or I can try and turn this into clay and create something better and take more out of this and infuse it with the life that I still have. They can't take that. They can't have my life. So that's how I came around to where I'm at now, because had anybody in my journey had that much empathy to see what's going on, it wouldn't have happened. So if I can talk to some leader somewhere who can keep a single person from having to go through what I went through, then everything I've done is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I got to read some of these comments because Mike is in here cutting up. Mike says, Australian wildlife scares me. Kangaroos just hopping around on cars.
And chewing internet cables. Yeah, I read that. No, mice, they actually deliver the mail. They've got the little skippy bags on with the mail, and they actually deliver the post to the residents.
I love it. I love
Well, but they
it.
don't need a bag, do they? They're marsupials.
Not if their pouch is full.
Y'all are hilarious. Y'all, and Dee says all three of you have some of the most powerful and inspirational stories, and appreciate that Dee. And I'll just go back to the end of 2022 for me. I'd had a spiritual awakening in 2015. As I told these ladies on our one-on-one calls, no one told me you can have more than one. So I am in the throes of just darkness, and in the end of 2022, going through a deep, dark night of the soul, looking at myself in the mirror. First of all, there was no smiles. Looking at myself in the mirror saying, I hate you. Looking at how I can effectively take my life. I can remember being stretched out on the floor in an Airbnb, just tears just coming down. And I went to Auburn, Kentucky, where I call my wilderness, for about 40 days, just kind of inspired by Jesus being in the wilderness 40 days. And it was such a transformational experience for me, because I went there to reconnect with soul. obviously, if you're thinking about taking your life, you're too deep in your mind, you're too deep in your ego, and it served that purpose and so much more for me. And it's still been it's still even been a journey from that point, because I can remember when I came back, I literally lost everything. But when I came back, I actually slept in Las Vegas airport. You know what? I haven't told this story. Slept in Las Vegas airport for about 3 days. Like I'm just like, once you get off the plane, I'm just in that area for 3 days, because you know, there were some revelations that I got while I was in the wilderness, but there was still some fear that I had to work through that prevented me from just stepping out of the airport, literally the airport, and going, everything is going to come together. But essentially, that's exactly what I did. I was homeless for a while, and just, you know, when I met these ladies, I wasn't homeless. Homeless didn't last that long, but I did just move recently as well, last Monday. But it was really, okay, I've got these powerful revelations. I've got this new way of being. I got this new brand. What's next? I didn't have the what's next. And so that just became a thing of trusting at that point.
Yeah.
Trusting that it's all going to come together. I kept wanting to go out into my business in 2023, but there was just something that was, I felt it wasn't time yet. And then, like I said, somewhere down the line, I ended up becoming the top 15 coach in Las Vegas. That had to be based on what I did in 2022, because I did nothing in 2023. And again, as I said, when I came out in January, everything, like, I posted recently on my Facebook that a very high profile, well-known writer and director who had an award-winning film on Netflix in 2023 just became a client like a couple of days ago. And I was just I was so blown away by that. And that person came as a referral. Somebody referred him to me. And I've had other people who have been showing up like that as well. I posted around some of the healing work that I've done. So, and this is not to promote James, because it's not James. It's what's in me. And these ladies probably would say the same thing. It's that spirit, that force, that power that's in us, that's creating this. And I think that's also why mindset is so important, because we got a lot of junk either circling our heart or in our mind that once we start shoveling that stuff out, those limiting beliefs, those old paradigms, it can only be done this way, where we're closing our minds to other ways of doing things. All that muck and all that is kind of blocking our next level. It's blocking our next step. There's no one who's watching right now who is not great at what they do, even if we may be doing the same thing, even if you and Melissa may be doing the same thing, even if you and Lisa may be doing the same thing. You have your own individual areas of influence and people that are waiting on you to really fully step up and embody who you are. And I just want to, because we're going to close there in a moment, I want to just kind of give this message and maybe a nugget to leave with you from me, and I'll let these ladies share the same. The whole thing of comparison, it's time out for that. It's time out for that. No one can do what you can do the way you can do it. Right? So looking to your left or looking to your right and going, oh, this is what this person is doing, and what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you other than the fact that you're looking over there and that you're looking over there. Just focus on your greatness, focus on your lane. And yes, there's not saying that isn't things that we can glean from over here, over there, but I won't measure my worth or my level of success by what this person is doing, etc., because you're oftentimes missing all the greatness that you have accomplished, all the level of success that you have accomplished, but you're comparing it, not knowing what their story is or what their story is. So I want to just kind of encourage you you're right where you're supposed to be. when I was sleeping in the airport, I was right where I was supposed to be. When I went into the wilderness, I was right where I was supposed to be. I'm just piggybacking some on Melissa's story. What Melissa went through allows Melissa to show up the way she is right now. None of this feels good when we're in it, but it's always taking us somewhere. Same thing with Lisa. None of it feels good when we're in it, but now this is the example of what it looks like to keep going and to follow kind of your path. So I just want to share that and allow the ladies to share any nuggets or last words that they want to share.
Thanks for sharing, James. You know, the beautiful thing about lives is we often, when we trust ourselves, we often get to a place of being okay with being vulnerable for the benefit of other people, to let them know that you're okay, because we've all been through some kind of mud. But, you know, as the beautiful lotus flower grows out of the mud, where it's all about ascension, isn't it, James?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I think, you know, from my little chip in at the end, I think I'm going to also leave on that comparisonitis note, because the World Wide Web is really frying our brains, and the excess, you know, dopamine, the instant hits of looking what everybody's doing, how much everybody's making, and you just start reflecting that back. Well, why aren't I doing that yet, with all the things that I've done and all the lessons that I've taken and all the work that I've done, the blood, sweat, and tears. There is no competition. There's only connection and collaboration. And we ideally serve very similar audiences here, and we only see this as a powerful collaboration together and sharing our gifts. And so I just wanted to add that as well, because I just think it is such an important thing. People are just suffering every single day because they're comparing themselves to all of the, much of it fake, what they're seeing online. And so that's it. And I'm so excited for the next 6 weeks with you guys. I'm truly excited. And to all the beautiful hounds who are, and the other guests online, thank you for joining us today as well. I'm watching the comments come through, so we'll go back and respond a little bit later. So thank you, Melissa, over to you.
You know, it's really interesting that you guys both brought up the whole competitive aspect of some of what can go on, because I was reading Brene Brown today and she was talking about that. And Lisa will appreciate this because she's a swimmer too. And what Brene was talking about is how when you jump in a pool and you're doing laps, it can be very meditative, because you just follow the black line and then you come back and you follow the black line and you come back. But the second you pay attention to what's going on in the other lanes and you become competitive, that's when all of a sudden that meditative state stops. And then all of a sudden you're in competition. So her point was to just stay in your own meditative lane and do what you do, and don't worry about what's going on out here. Just stay in your lane. And I think there's a lot to be said for that, because there's no reason for comparison. There's no reason for competition, especially because when we actually do come together, the whole is so much greater than the sum of its parts. The energy compounds on itself. So why be in competition? It makes no sense at all. So I think if there's one thing that I could really leave with, it's the more you can let your brain out of it, but keep your heart engaged, the better off you're going to be. So just keep a cool head and a warm heart.
I love that.
Beautifully said.
So as we exit, I'm going to put up our, and I tell you, I don't know who gave me control of this, but I'm going to put up our QR codes, maybe something, whether you're a hound and we haven't spoken to you yet, or whether you're someone else watching this on replay and you're like, what James said resonated with me, or what Melissa said resonated with me, or what Lisa said resonated with me. We want to give you an opportunity to, that's why I said I don't know why I got control of this. I'm trying to work.
I'm just sit here.
You are one thing we know. I told Mike before we came on. I think I had it in the details of this event that the shenanigans are going to be here. So always know that that's going to be a part of our presentation. But my QR code is here. Melissa's QR code is here. Lisa's QR code is here. Definitely hop on a call with us. My thing is, hey, we just want to hop on for free, have a free 15-minute conversation. Let's have a conversation. Maybe there's something in your story or in your business that either myself, Melissa, or Lisa can help you through based on who resonates with you. We got you. I'm speaking for them, and I hope I can, but we definitely have you. And look, I'm trying not to look at Lisa kind of. But okay, so I think you should be able to have the QR codes by now, and just hit rewind if you don't see them. But having said that, yeah, we greatly appreciate all of you for joining us. The Super Genius Masterminds, that's us. We're going to be on every Monday at this time, sharing, what the topic that we have chosen, or even if you have something that maybe you're wrestling with, just put it in the comments. Hey, James, or Melissa, or Melissa, I'm looking to attract more clients, or how can I be better position myself, or even present what I do better, or even mindset stuff, or how can I work on my limiting beliefs? Just let us know what you want us to talk about in the comments, and we'll circle back and we will make a plan to talk about those particular things. So any last words, ladies?
No. Show one is done.
Woo! I'm already looking forward to next week.
Me too. So this has been a blend of comedy, business, personal stories, and we will see you all on Monday. Have an amazing rest of the week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.